Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cam, and today we're going to be going over this week's update to Plan 3D. This is the first week of February, and a lot of good stuff has been added with this update. Tim just messaged me this past Sunday, which was this February 3rd, and let me know that he had got these updates out. So without any further ado, let's get the show on the road. So, as always, we still have to npm start to get this thing loaded up, but when we do, you may notice it looks a little different than last week. We don't have any predefined printers set up, and now you have to add your own printer. The printer configuration is still a little bit bugged as of now. The names don't quite appear, and I'll show you where that's driven from in just a moment. But in here, you would enter your printer name, your IP address. This printer name, by the way, would be whatever you want to call it. So if you wanted to call it, let's say you had an Anycubic iMega X, you don't have to call it that. You could call it X4 or something like that. You can name it anything you want, right? Put in your IP address for linking purposes and an API key if it's needed, as well as any additional notes, any potential nuances, let's call them, or quirks that your printer might have that you need to keep note of. From there, you can then select a configuration. If you plan on buying multiple of the same type configurations, you'll just end up using the same one, but those configurations are driven from this tab. And as you can see, we have 4 configurations set up, which is why there are 4 in this selection. The names are just not populating. And they also don't quite work when you try and add them, as you see here. Oops. 111, and then tells us to still add a printer configuration. So we're working on that. Next step, in here, we can add new configurations, however. And so let's call this one test manufacturer. Model name will be test 1. FDM, sure. We'll call it 100 by, or I guess 10. Nope. 100 by 100 by 100. And we're going to say it's got a max working temperature of 240C. It's a little weak, but... And then here's where you would put anything like auto level or multi-filament or dual extrusion, anything like that. Or, apologies, that's supported materials. Those things would be added into the features. So this would be PLA, ASA, ABS, PETG, etc. Features is where you would add like the dual extrusion, multi-filament, auto level. And here, let's just do 0.4, 0.2, 0.6, and we can save that configuration, and it appears right here. So from there, we can see that now there's a new unnamed configuration in here. So it is linked, it's just not quite drawing correctly. Next up, we would have a file manager, which, again, the upload files feature does not quite work yet, and it will be linked to local file storage to prevent any kind of cloud service issues. So everything will be utilized on your local storage. There is also an inventory tab that is currently broken, an orders tab which is also currently broken, and a job statuses tab which is broken. Software breaks a lot as you add new features, for those of you that are unaware, but anyway, we have an invoice manager now. The invoice manager, when an order is fulfilled on our end, an invoice is sent, obviously, and if it is not paid, you can go to overdue, paid, pending, all statuses, and so on. This will also be connected directly to your private store or your Etsy store or any other place that you want to link this to. And then finally, we have the customers, which also does not work. So there you have it. I just want to thank you for giving me your time today. And as always, plan better, print smarter, and good luck out there, makers.